We want to start racial dialogue in this country, right? Eric Holder encouraged us to, and Young Turks are famous for that. So we brought on Marcus Epstein to come talk to us. Marcus is the columnist for VDare.com. He's executive director of Pat Buchanan's The American Cause and Tom Tancredo's Team America PAC. And he comes at this from both a similar and a different point of view at the same time. Marcus, welcome to the Young Turks.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, no problem. So we appreciate you coming on. So let's talk about a couple of the controversies that are in the news now and see if we can come to agreement on some of these things. The New York Post cartoon. What do you think would have been the proper way for African Americans who were offended by the cartoon to have handled it?
I think that they just need to understand that not every single joke is about them, and, I think that they should have accepted the Post explanation, that not every single thing that has a gorilla is racially motivated. And it seems to me that even supporters of Obama have gotten in trouble for monkeying around, so to speak. There was one Hispanic woman who told her kids, who's an Obama delegate, who told her kids to stop playing in the trees like monkeys, because they were actually playing in the trees with some black children. And she, although it ended up getting rescinded, was fired from the Obama campaign for that. So, it's the idea that it seems that, in this age, every single thing which could possibly, have the word black or have the word monkey, not everything is an allegory for racism.
All right, Marcus, we, in fact, did a story on the Young Turks with a Washington Post cartoon that they apologized for that had a monkey carrying away a woman, a white woman in that case. But that story was related to how women are turned on by watching bonobos having sex. So it had absolutely no racial element to it whatsoever, and we thought that was absurd that they apologized for it. But in the New York Post case, the author of the stimulus bill was, in essence, the president. So can you not see how some people would connect that particular monkey in the cartoon to the president and how that might be offensive?
It goes that old phrase, if you put 1,000 monkeys in a room, they'll eventually produce Shakespeare. And there's even a term for that called the infinite monkey theorem, which is by definition based on the idea that that monkeys on a typewriter are going to write something completely insane. And so this is just that's clearly what they were talking about. And, if they think that's the thing why, there was no way to read the guy's mind, so they should accept the explanation. And so that's all I can say about that.
No, but Marcus, look, you got to at least acknowledge that there's been an enormous history in this country of African Americans being compared to different kinds of apes in cartoons and in other situations, which then led to violence against African Americans. And in that cartoon, the monkey gets shot by 2 cops. Is it not possible for you to say, hey, I see where they're coming from, but still, it was our fault for not recognizing that it's not the intent, but they should have recognized that it has that history and not done it. Can you not see that?
There clearly have been some caricatures of African Americans where there is a ape-like figure which might be looks in between a human being and an ape and accentuates the stereotypes of blacks. But what has been happening with Obama is that even, there was a company in Denver which made these cute little dolls of all the, politicians which looked like, like little cute monkey dolls, and they had them like Obama. And again then, they were accused of racism, and these were Democratic supporters of Obama. So yes, there are all cases when in the past where African Americans have been associated with monkeys. I don't know that that's necessarily what caused violence to them. I don't know if there's a specific case that you can point to me where someone saw a monkey cartoon which was aimed at and then committed violence against African Americans, but there definitely was racial, that was a bad racial stereotype which people shouldn't use. However, monkeys are the closest, animals to human beings. people love having anthropomorphic monkeys. They love monkeys looking like, it's something that we use. If you look in a dictionary for adjectives of, of monkey, there's all these words like monkey balls, monkeying around. You had all these people say to Bush, "Hail to the chimp." They all said that Bush was like a chimpanzee.
I know, but there has not been that history against white people.
And blacks just need to get over it and say not every, and just not assume that every single thing is racist.
Marcus, can you understand? Look, what I'm trying to tell the progressive side is, let's not call everything racist because it's going to turn people off and it's going to have them in a defensive position where, in fact, we need to have this conversation. But when you say, hey, black people need to understand not everything is racist, etc., do you see how you're not really helping the conversation? Because you're turning everybody else off thinking, oh, this guy's never going to see racism in anything. In fact, you have here, you say that John Rocker and Rush Limbaugh and other folks have been accused of racism, but they said things that were clearly racially insensitive. Rush Limbaugh says to a caller, "Get that bone out of your nose before I talk to you." I don't know how else to interpret that. John Rocker
I'm not
said
familiar
things
with that
against...
case. What I was referring to with Rush Limbaugh was when he was suggesting that Donovan McNabb got preferential treatment, got favorable media treatment because the media was hoping to have African-American quarterbacks. And he was then...
I don't want to go back and debate that. Hey, Marcus, I don't want to go back and debate that issue.
Conversation about, race in sports, and I think that that's something... And that was, he wasn't saying that in any sort of mean or politically incorrect way. What's politically incorrect, but he wasn't saying that in any
Marcus,
mean
we're
way.
limited
and he was fired from his job for that.
We're limited in time, so I don't want to go back and relitigate every issue. But, look, Rush Limbaugh has said... He has basically defended the apartheid government of South Africa. And on the quarterback issue, he said that the American media was against Rex Grossman because he's a white quarterback. Look, the guy is absurd. Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Tom Brady, the American media doesn't like white quarterbacks enough? But I'm going to leave all that aside. Basically, what I'm trying to get at here, Marcus, is can you see the other side here? Can you see how those comments could be seen as offensive? What John Rocker said, what Limbaugh has said at different times, this New York Post controversy, et cetera, et cetera. Wouldn't it help the conversation if you can say, hey, I got it. You're right. You have suffered all of these racial, not just indignities, but actual violence against African Americans because of this throughout history. And I want to be a little bit sensitive to that, and engage in that conversation and get to a better place. Can you not do that, Marcus?
I think that whenever you get into that conversation, it's basically saying that these collective sins of the past are responsible for problems now, and I don't think that is productive for African Americans. I don't think it's productive for whites. Perhaps that we could say that at one point we'll go back to the post-culture and what we were mainly discussing. I don't think the Post, in this case, the Post seemed to say, look, this was not what we meant to do. We apologize to people offended by this, and it didn't help. And you still have people like the NAACP calling for everyone to get fired. So, are you willing to say that the NAACP, after the Post, gave the explanation and basically did what you told them that they should do, that the NAACP and Al Sharpton should lay off them?
Well, first of all, I said on national TV that Al Sharpton shouldn't call them racist, so yes.
I'm glad to hear that.
Okay. Second of all, look, that you got to acknowledge that first New York Post apology was totally half-assed. They said these are the people who are detracting from the New York Post, our critics, are being opportunists by attacking us for this. The later Rupert Murdoch apology was definitely a little better. And there comes a time when you say, all right, look, we got to call this thing off and say, all right, we've made our point. But at the same time, what we're looking for, Marcus, at least what I'm looking for in this conversation, is for both sides to acknowledge the two different sides. And I'm not getting a lot of that from you. I'm getting a lot of, look, they should not bring this up, et cetera, et cetera. But the stuff, you said the stuff of the past doesn't really bear on what's happening now. But you can't possibly believe that. Why are why are so many African Americans in the inner city? Because of the history of racism and bigotry and civil rights violations, et cetera, et cetera. You know that.
You have so many other cases where you can say, those clearly, you have groups. If we're going to talk about this, why is it that, the interracial crime rate, for example, something like rape, there was 1,000, black black on white interracial gang rapes for every single white black on white gang rapes. And then when you have something like the Duke lacrosse hoax, there was tons of media things, and we say we have to understand what this means and everything like that, and it's all about race. And, this is and so I don't think that whites should then, because of this, say that they hate this. So that's something that never gets discussed. In almost every single conversation with race, and this includes ones for most conservatives, and trust me, I've dealt with a lot of these people, begins with us apologizing and hand-wringing about how every single problem in blacks has to do with this. And I think the point of the matter is that I believe that at the end of the day, most of the problems that blacks face are their own responsibility to fix.
Their own responsibility to fix. Look, are people taking personal responsibility? Of course. Should they? Of course. It's not to say, hey, there were problems in the past, hence I don't have to do anything, right? But people aren't saying that. Look, you got to meet them halfway. If they say yes, you say take personal responsibility. They say yes, of course. They're not like sitting. Rush Limbaugh isn't right. They're not. People aren't sitting on their ass waiting for government handouts. Everybody's working hard in America.
Well, you have someone like Barack Obama who will say something about, he does all these things, and if you looked at his speech, he talked about how there are these, all these, these problems, and he does try to understand the other side. He kind of gives that qualification. I understand why this is, why this is upsetting to be called racist. But on every single policy, and then he will say, it is important that, blacks raise their kids and take personal responsibility, but, from a political end, which is kind of what I have to deal with in my life, do any of these people like Obama say, what should we do as a society and certainly as a government to ensure that blacks take personal responsibility for their own problems?
I don't know what you're referring to, because that's the reality of life for everybody, that they take personal responsibility for their problems. Marcus, I got to ask you one last real quick thing here as we run out of time. I'm asking you to go halfway and say, look, although, yes, of course, everything is your personal responsibility, can you at least acknowledge that we got into this mess because of what has happened in the past? I'm not saying that you dwell on it. I'm not saying that you say the solutions are hence in the past or anything along those lines. But can you see how we got into this mess in the first place? And once you acknowledge
that obviously, had we not had, brought slaves to this country, then we would not have a major black-white conflict. But if you look at almost every single society where blacks are, and, some of these, they don't do as well as whites. And so, the idea that this is not unique. I mean, this happens with black immigrants into Europe. This happens to blacks. So, I mean, every single place. So how is it that every single place is all fault? I mean, if you look at this from entire, and of course there's other groups in this country who have faced discrimination, and they've done fine. So, yeah, we wouldn't have had this problem if we didn't have slavery, and that was a terrible system. But other than that, I don't really think that any of the problems, maybe for one generation, are attributable to, segregation and other bad policies, which have been over for over 50 years.
Well, so, we tried to raise...
Maybe I met you an eighth of the way there.
Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think you went there at all. In fact, I think you went in the wrong direction. We tried to have a conversation about it. But, Marcus, you're dead wrong. Everywhere blacks are, they don't do as well as other people. That's a preposterous statement. And now, by the way, African American.
In what country can you say
the United States of America
have a lower crime rate than the whites, or they have higher educational achievement or higher education?
Marcus, that's a ridiculously ignorant statement. Look, you're not understanding exactly what I've been trying to tell you. Look, how did we get here? Okay,
even these countries which are run by blacks, say like South Africa, Well, in South Africa, I mean, every single thing has been done where they're in charge.
You think that every black country has a higher crime rate than every white country?
No, I'm saying within each country, blacks have a higher crime rate than other races. I mean, that is a fact.
That is not a fact. Where did you get that fact, Marcus? Where's that fact from?
I don't have everything offhand, but
that's right. Because that's an assumption. That is not at all a fact.
Discuss it. Like I said, I was walking around in a hotel, so I don't have every single fact at my fingertips. But I'd be happy to send you an email.
That's because you made that up.
If I don't, you can go ahead and say,
Marcus, you know what? I'd love for you to email that fact to us. Okay, I'm going to give you as much of a chance as possible. Look, Marcus, this is why people get turned off by you. Okay, because look. you think that black people are? What you're saying here is that black people are naturally more violent. I mean, that's what you're saying,
not what
right?
I'm saying.
No, but that's exactly what you said. They said
this is a problem which cannot be attributed to racism.
It's their own problem because blacks are more violent. It's not racism; it's their fault.
I'm just simply saying that this is not that if these problems take place in every single country, then why can you say, with a variety of different reasons, then why are you saying that this has to be white racism? Is the white racism?
So what are you saying then, Marcus? Are you saying that it's black people's fault?
I'm saying that it's not white people's fault.
Okay, so that in your mind, you've made up the fact that blacks have higher crime rates everywhere, and that since it's not white people's fault, it must be their fault that it's... I can't draw any other conclusion. You tell me. You're on the line right now. You tell me, what is your conclusion that you're trying to reach?
I'm coming to the conclusion that I do not feel that the problems facing the African-American community and blacks in the world is the result of oppression and racism and imperialism, and that I don't think that every single conversation should start with that. And I think
okay,
that
so
us as a society
why do you think they have the higher crime rate? You think they have the higher crime rate. Why do you think that?
And it hasn't worked. So I don't
why
know
do you think they have the higher crime rate, Marcus?
This is one reason that it isn't.
You claim they have the higher crime rate in all the countries. That is not true, but that's your claim. So why do you think they have it? Why do you think they have it? Why do you think they have the higher crime rate, Marcus?
You can say Marcus Epstein lied on the show. He made something up.
Okay, Marcus, let's assume you're right. Why? I'm not assuming you're right, but according to your theory, why do they have the higher crime rate?
I don't know. I'm just simply saying. I'm not but I'll say this. If someone suggested, and I don't think this, I'm not saying this, but let's say if there was some sort of, genetic or natural reason, which I'm not saying is the case, I would be called a racist. I would lose it. And, and they're all people, who have come to these conclusions, such as, say, James Watson, who said, or Charles Moy, and I don't know if they're right, but certainly this is the guy who invented DNA, discovered DNA, one of the most respected geneticists in the world, and he says, I think there might be genetic reasons for the problems that face blacks. And the response was across the board, we can't listen to this guy. This guy's racist. He gets fired from his own job. Now, like I said, I don't know that he's right, but the fact that is a conversation, and they might be wrong, but it seems that people will get fired from their jobs. There's plenty of examples of people who got fired from their jobs or whatever for suggesting this.
Marcus, then why don't you be brave enough to say? Because it seems like
like I said, I don't know. I'm not a geneticist. I don't know these things. I'm just saying that we don't have this conversation, and we don't allow people to do that. I do know this. In the book The Bell Curve, Charles Moy, who I know, is one of the, someone who is, has no ill will towards black. If there's anyone else, if you read the book, it's very, very important that he's saying that this doesn't mean that we should treat blacks differently or anything else like that. And, that book got denounced, and they said this is evil, and this book is going to cause crime, and blah, blah, blah. Even conservatives said this.
Hey, Marcus, let me ask you a final question. How would you feel if somebody said to you, your race, and I don't know what it is, your race is genetically inferior and more prone to violence, and we should watch your ass? How would you feel about that?
I'm half Asian and I'm half white.
Okay.
And I would say, I didn't say that, but I would say, why don't I prove them wrong? That's what I would say.
Okay, but look, we got to make the assumption that you're more dangerous than other people, so we got to take some action accordingly. But hey, look, good luck in trying to prove that you're not genetically inferior.
There's plenty of people. Look, here, this is either a fact or it's not. And the fact of the matter is that people who do, there's plenty of books that say that try to prove this. But if someone suggests the other thing, and I don't think that person's inferior, then they get called a racist, and that's about the worst thing until they lose their job.
But Marcus, can you not see if you call somebody genetically inferior that you might get called a racist?
No, and I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying that this is something that should be open to discussion.
All right.
And I'm not the one who's making the discussion because I have limited time and I have to focus on other issues. But that's the fact.
All right. Well, we had a discussion, and now we see each other's sides. Marcus Epstein, thank you for coming on the Young Turks. We appreciate it.
Thank you, and I'll send you an email.
All right.